Namaste and welcome back. In this video, we will be looking at Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, or the half-bound lotus standing forward fold. And frankly, it's quite challenging and is meant to be one of the most challenging postures in the entire standing series, even for some quite advanced practitioners. However, it still serves as a good test to really challenge the body, and mentally it serves as a good marker for your overall concentration, as well as the stability, openness in the hips, and coordination between the breath and the movement. So don't worry at all if you're just starting and it seems really inaccessible. We're just going to break it down in this video, and definitely through a consistent practice it's possible to reach the full version of the Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. If, however, you are an advanced practitioner, there's always more refinement and more coordination with the breath and deepening within the posture. So we'll begin in Samasthitihi. Bring the hand to the hip. Inhale, take the left leg up to meet the left hand and really stabilize through the right leg as much as possible. And throughout this posture, the most important focus is going to be on the standing leg, making it really stable, steady, and rooted. And so you're going to see that the rest of the balance comes from that strong standing leg. So keeping that stability. Inhale, head up. Really clarify here before you exhale, and if possible, fold forward, placing the forehead on the knee. Now 5 breaths here, and inhale, come up, elbows straight, lift the chest as high as possible, pull the shoulder blade back, pull the belly in, and then open out to the side, opening the hip fully. The left arm and the toe points away from the body as you gaze over the right side. So here the gaze actually helps to elevate, creating this lifting effect. So stabilize here for a second, keeping the integrity of the posture before coming back to the center. Lift up once again, stabilize, exhale, fold and touch once. Inhale, come up, straighten, stamp through the standing leg, and exhale, release, hands on the hips, and breathing. Staying here, opening up the shoulder blades as much as possible and shooting the leg up. Exhale, come down. Okay, great. Come back to Samasthitihi, and now we'll look at some beginner modifications for Utthita Hasta because it's quite challenging to go straight into the final version. So once again, coming to Samasthitihi, one hand on the waist, lift the knee and hold it up to the chest. Really finding this regal poise, drawing the belly in, stamping through the standing foot, lift the chest up, finding this concentrative focus. And then when you feel stable here, only then will you exhale, fold forward, bring the forehead to touch the knee. Now this can be a preparatory practice for a few weeks before you gain control of the lower leg and begin to stretch it out. Next, you open it out to the side, look over the shoulder, and this feels much more accessible to most because it's not as difficult as straightening the leg entirely. Still keeping the hips nice and open and the toes pointed. Look over the shoulder with your chin almost over the shoulder before coming back to the center. Touch once again, and it's normal to lose balance just like me. And release. Kick and practice this lifting up by engaging the quadriceps and really pulling the belly in and allowing the entire leg to be charged up from the hip all the way till the toes. Smile and breathe and release. Great. And now we'll look at some common mistakes. So even when it comes to grabbing the foot, you can grab the outside of the foot unknowingly because you think it's going to give you more balance, but it's important to know the proper position of the foot which is take the hand inside, grab only the big toe, and before you stretch it out, keep in mind that you have to focus on the standing leg, because otherwise it's going to give you a bit of wobble and you won't be able to fold forward entirely. If either of the knees are bent, you won't have enough leverage to fold down. So as much as you can, remember coming back, simulating Samasthitihi in all these postures without body being rotated to one side. Avoid this as much as possible by pulling the femur back towards the hip socket, making sure the hips are square. Pull the left shoulder back, and even if you have the left leg properly hooked, the left shoulder should also be centered properly, because if it's angling out, then you're going to lose balance and not have this nice Samasthitihi regal poise that we're looking for. Nice. Come back. Samasthitihi. And another common mistake is to kick the leg too high, go into the pose too quickly, or to try and fold forward before really establishing the breath. That's going to make you lose balance immediately. And so come back and really let's understand the way it works. Separating the ribcage from the hips, you want to create this nice length in the torso before even getting into the posture. Observe the difference if you don't, and when you do. It makes a huge, huge difference. Okay, great. Now when you open it out, keep in mind that to balance and inhale, come up, you need that stability. And if you go only halfway and you're hunching the shoulders, or you're trying to get too close, or you're opening out the shoulders too much and going over to one side, we see this very often, just trying to get into the posture instead of using the torso to lift, it's going to be extremely unstable and unsustainable to be able to hold for 5 deep breaths. So lift and lengthen, keeping this poise, and then rotate out and come back to center, other side, which is going to demonstrate what happens when you open it out to the side with your knee slightly bent and then kick it really high. The shoulder blade tends to come forward and you'll lose this nice sagittal plane that you're trying to establish with the body, as if 2 glass planes were squeezed between you, and bringing it back to the center with more poise and balance, drawing the belly in, lift and lengthen, and kick the leg out. Excellent. So coming back to the center, and lastly we're going to look at what happens in the last portion of Utthita Hasta, where you release the hands, keep them both on the hip and kick the leg up. Quite often the leg is too low, so really you want to work towards kicking the leg up and not folding forward, leaning too much into it, but really pulling the shoulder blades back, lifting the chin up and kicking as much as possible by engaging the muscles just above the knee, the quadriceps, and come down. Awesome. That's it for today. Come back to Samasthitihi. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.